Hello and welcome to Real Watchers Movie Club. My name is Garrett.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are your hosts. Movie Club is a show we pick a movie every week and discuss it just like a book club. On today's show, we're continuing our May month-long theme of looking at films directed by women. And our film this week is the Courtroom award-winning drama, Anatomy of a Fall. Our thoughts and more coming up on Movie Club. Released in 2023, Anatomy of a Fall was directed by Justine Triet and stars Sandra Hüller, Swan Arlaud, and Mila Machado Grainer. Sorry for any mispronunciation of those names. A woman is suspected of her husband's murder, and their blind son faces a moral dilemma as the sole witness. The film currently has a 4.1 out of 5 on Letterboxd. The film was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including Best Editing, Best Actress for Sandra Hüller, Best Director, and Best Picture. It won 1 Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. Before we dive into our thoughts, though, we do want to issue a spoiler warning for the movie. We're going to talk about everything that happens in it, and we don't want to ruin it for you if you've never seen it before. So go and check it out. It's on Netflix right now, so nice and easy for everyone. And then once you've seen it, you can come back here. It's fine. You can pause the video, whatever. But stay tuned to find the end of the video, because we're going to talk about what movie we're doing next week, which is the last one for the May theme. Okay, Kevin, so this was your pick this week. I'm curious, what led you to pick it? I mean, we've all heard of this movie, I think, at this point, but what made you pick it?
Because we've heard of this movie and it got nominations, and it was one of the movies that I like. Courtroom drama cases a lot too. So, and this really intrigued me because of how much buzz it was getting as well during, was it 2003? Forget.
2023.
23, yeah, 23. The buzz around it was spectacular. So wanted to check it out and see if it really did live up to the hype.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously had heard about this because of the award season that year, and it was just a movie that I had never gotten around to watching. I own the movie, but I hadn't watched it yet. I was waiting for this exact episode, actually. And I knew I was going to like it, but what was interesting was kind of finding out how much or how little or whatever. I thought it's always the fun part, right? So let's go ahead and dive into this a little bit. I think it's safe to say that we both like this movie. It sounds like.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
But let's since it was your pick, why don't you go ahead and lead us off? What are your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts are this is an interesting case about what happens, because it really gives you nothing to go off of, only in like the court case, and then you get like flashbacks or what actually happened, but they never really tell you, like, they don't sway you in a different way, if that makes sense. It always is very, okay, this could have happened, and it just gives you different thoughts about what actually happened, and putting that in your mind makes me be like, what if it did happen this way? Then technically they are, whoever said it, yeah, they are correct, but she also has a point of doing it this way. So it was very intriguing, the two-way street that we get.
Yeah, and I think that the word you're looking for is ambiguity, right? Like, it's not exactly clear what happened, and it is up to the audience, to us. You know, in a way, we become the jury, right? Like, we're the ones that have to make up our own minds as to what happened. And the film doesn't make it easy, which I think is a good thing, right? Like, there's emotions on display. There's also some logic on display. There's also some really stupid stuff, like when the lawyer brings up the fact that Sandra Hüller might be bi, and that might like impact something.
But like, that's something they would bring up.
Yeah, it's just, like, it feels weird. Why? You're like, all right. Well,
yeah.
Sure. But no, I think that I think what for me stood out the most about this is the screenplay, because the dialogue, the way that everything happens in the courtroom, all the scenes with Sandra Hüller, who is absolutely phenomenal in this movie.
I mean, yeah.
You know, like, Justine has written this so beautifully. And it's why it won, and it's why a lot of people still talk about this movie's script. And I do think that her directing is also very good here. However, I do think that this movie is a little too slow at times.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It does need to pick up a little bit of the pace sometimes, but it's very few and far between, which
yeah.
to me, when I was watching it, it was like, oh, maybe this is a little restroom break right here. And I went to the restroom, got back, didn't miss any of like the important things that were going to happen, if I say so.
Yeah, it almost feel like to me like maybe this was originally pitched as a mini series, like a 4 or
Oh.
5 episode Netflix or HBO series, because it really feels like they didn't cut a lot out. Like now, whatever everything we get is great, and I'm not saying it's bad. I just think that it's a little too slow, and I think that this is where the ambiguity is a little bit of a double-edged sword. By not getting a definitive answer by the end of this movie, it's not that the movie itself is frustrating. It's the fact that we spent all this time and then didn't really get a payoff, right? Like it wasn't like she's innocent, she's guilty, like, you know, or like the son having to make some sort of drastic decision, like, you know, I love my mom, but you know,
Yeah.
but we just don't really get a lot of that. And I think that that's why in the back of my head, I'm like, this was probably a mini series at one point, and then just, you know, they didn't want to cut anything. And because again, it's hard, right? Because I wouldn't cut anything.
No,
There's nothing that I would be like, that was unnecessary. Everything is necessary. It's just a little drawn out. Right.
And
So-
I like how you said this might be a miniseries, because this would have been very interesting as a miniseries instead of a movie too. Maybe you could put in a little bit more, not extra, but different stuff into it, and made it seem like a not a happy ending, but a full drawn story that ends with no open pages.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying that the ambiguity is double-edged, right? Like it's really cool because passively it's making us into the jury, and in a lot of situations like this where it's hearsay, you kind of have to figure out what you think based on the available evidence, and you know, like you could apply this to a lot of different situations in a lot of different criminal proceedings, right? So it's very interesting in that regard. But that was really my only major critique with this movie, was that I just felt that it was a little too
Drawn out.
a little too bloated, like a little too slow. Not that, but it's not bad. It's just that, like, it was like, it's a 2.5 hour movie, and I would say that like the payoff you get at the end isn't as good as I was expecting for how much time we spend in it. But getting through that 2.5 hours is really easy because of some incredible performances.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Sandra Hüller, who we've seen in a lot of films. We saw her in Zone of Interest, I believe, that same year. And then we just saw her this year in Project Hail Mary. She's exploding, and I'm glad to see she's all over the place because she's a very talented actress. And you can tell that, like, she's playing this character in a way where she's not really telling the truth on everything, right?
No.
Like, and is it enough to make her a criminal? Like she's guilty of murdering her husband? Probably not. I'll just go ahead and kind of get my thoughts out there right now. I don't think she killed him.
No, I don't think so either.
I think that it was purely an accident, or potentially suicide. Who knows? But it does, from the way that he fell and everything, it does kind of look like it was an accident. A lot of people on Letterboxd are saying that he was just jamming way too hard to his music.
That's great.
And then fell out the window. Which, I mean, hey, I get it. My desk is right by the window, and I've been listening to a lot of music really loudly and just kind of like feeling it, you know? I can see it happening. So, but yeah, like she's fantastic. The husband, for what time he's in the movie, is really good as well. The son is also really good. And I gotta say, one of the best non-human performances, the dog in this movie,
it's spectacular.
The dog, I forget the name of the dog.
Snoopy.
But
I think it's Snoopy.
Is this like I meant the real name of the dog?
Oh, I don't know.
But like it doesn't feel like it's a dog in a movie. It never looks past the camera. It is focusing where it needs to focus on those things, and you know,
he feels like a character in this
Yeah.
movie, which animals are characters in movies, but this one just felt like he was just a part of it, not
Yeah.
there, a part of it.
And like, obviously the family dog or family cat or whatever is never usually a character in something like this. But the way that Justine Triet uses the dog in this is really fascinating. And then obviously they got a dog who can act.
Yeah. Well,
not as good of a dog performance as the horror movie Good Boy that we got last year, but up there for sure.
I just like it because the dog is a part of the family too. I mean, it needs to be included into that. So because this is a family court drama, basically, and the dog is a part of the family. So I like how they included all of those shots, and we can talk about the beauty of this movie as well. Is so good. The whitest of white snows that I have ever seen before. The cabin where it's just in the middle of nowhere, but oh my gosh, it looks so gorgeous. So the cinematography shots are absolutely fantastic. I mean, we were talking about the camera work as well, but even just the when the detectives come over and stuff like that, when they're fighting, it's just so in your face gorgeous the entire time.
Yeah, it like Justine is using the camera really well here. She and her cinematographer, right? Like it's taking these locations that I'm thinking to like the courtroom stuff, where it's not the most exciting environment just to show, but the way they do it is just it really works. And it's also cool to see. I think we're, for lack of a better term, we're guilty of seeing too many legal dramas from an American point of view, right? We're used to seeing that legal system, and it's cool to see European legal systems.
Yeah, it's so different too. Yeah, like how everything is laid out and set up and everything. So yeah, it was very different, but it was a good different, because I was like, okay, what does this guy do? I love how they sit too, like kind of surrounding the everybody too. It just looks so they look like they're looking down upon the person who is getting questioned.
Yeah, which I mean, like it should feel like that when you're being questioned for something that you potentially did wrong. And I don't know what it is in Europe. I don't know if this is France or Germany, or I forget exactly where it takes place, because it's like multinational. But like, in America, it's supposed to be innocent till proven guilty. But in the way that she's in these sequences and the way that everyone's staged, it does look like everyone's looking down, which is how it can feel when you're being accused or if you're guilty, like either side of it. Like people who bring forward allegations face that same kind of thing, and because you gotta get the truth, which thankfully Trier doesn't give us the truth here. And like we already talked about, and and I think that the way that she uses the camera with her cinematographer really feeds into that.
Totally agree.
Alrighty, kind of a quick episode this week, but it's just a good movie. There's not like, it's kind of interesting. Like we feel like we talked about the biggest parts, and it's not like a groundbreaking movie, I would say, by any means, but it is definitely one of the better legal dramas that I've seen. So why don't you go ahead and take it away, Kevin? What's your final thoughts and your score?
I mean, my final thoughts is this is a great courtroom drama / family drama that uses different courtroom cases, because it is in Europe and everything like that, which was very interesting to me because I am an American. Well, spoiler alert. But yeah, but I love the cinematography, the camera work, the acting of all, even the little actors or actresses in this is absolutely fantastic. Really just a little sluggish for me. But the thing is, like we were talking about, what will we cut out? There's really nothing that I can chop this down to maybe even making 2 hours and 15 minutes kind of a thing. But still, absolutely fantastic. Love all the nominations it got and won for this. So I gave it an 85 out of 100, which is a 4.5 stars. 3.5 stars out of 5.
Well, there you go. For me, I think that this was a fantastic legal drama, and I would say family drama as well, marriage drama, for sure. Nothing is black and white. Everything is a gray area, and when there's such a lack of any kind of evidence or testimony or anything, it just makes it difficult. And I think this movie does a really good job of grounding itself in reality, that it is gray area. We don't get easy answers. We are often excluded from seeing those. So I like the way this movie treats it, and the screenplay is expertly written, definitely deserving of its Oscar win.
Yeah.
I do agree. I think it is, I'm not going to say sluggish. I think it's a little overlong. It's bloated. And I think that, you know, like we were saying, it could have been a mini series that they ended up just turning into a film. But it's not like, but the problem is that there's nothing that you could take out. Like everything feels so important to kind of providing enough information for you to make a judgment based on what you've seen. So, but for me, I gave the film a 90 out of 100, which is 4.5 stars out of 5. But that's going to bring us to the end of this video. So the question now falls to you. What do you think of Anatomy of a Fall? Go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let us know whether you think she's guilty or innocent, or maybe a mix of both. I guess, I don't know if there's a way to do that, but just remember to be respectful of one another in the comment section down below. But next week, we are concluding our May month-long theme of looking at films directed by women by looking at the film After Sun, which, I mean, we've all kind of heard if you're in the awards season kind of fandom like I am. But make sure to watch it before next week so you're not spoiled. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, all those wonderful things. We do have our show here, Movie Club, that goes live every single Friday at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we also have our weekly live stream that goes live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So thank you so much for watching. And until next time, make sure to keep those eyes on the screen.